Dude, like so many frames got added since damage list was found.
Ugh. So, yeah, we'll see.
Oh, are we starting?
Looks like we are starting. Yeah, Lumophile is off. Joe, a few seconds behind. We'll get that synced up for you guys here pretty soon.
Big fan of Lumo using the classic Blat split.
Blat! Yeah,
race.
I feel like it really fits the personality of the DKC speedrunning community. They like to have fun. So, you have to see here pretty early on the theme of this. You start with Donkey, and then they make Donkey die. It's the reason why it's faster to just kill off Donkey as opposed to just put him behind you instead is because you save, I think it's about 10 frames on the world map each time you go to the next stage. You don't have to wait for Donkey to, like, catch up. For the second Kong, rather. It's not that Donkey costs more time than Diddy. It's just better to use only one Kong. So, with that, they're already into the second stage. You're going to see this game as a platformer, it's relatively straightforward. There's going to be a lot of rolling, a lot of jumping out of that. If they can roll through enemies, they'll try to. And yeah, right there you saw them go ahead and go into a bonus level because that actually blasts them forward in the stage. So I'm only 2 times that going into a bonus actually speeds up an 80% all stages match. Also a little piece of tech there where if they basically mash all the buttons, all the face buttons, they can skip the little fanfare animation afterwards between each stage. So it makes it to where this run has like basically no downtime. You beat a stage, you're immediately going into the next one.
Have like half a second of downtime on the world map, and besides that, none at all.
Looking like Joe, if there was a little bit of desync on the timer, Joe made it up right there. Yeah, a little bit cleaner here through this third level we got right here. First one where Joe really made some separation between himself and Lumophile, getting those little like mini zips of sorts inside those little crevices. And that's just simply rolling at the right time to where you're past the halfway point, so the game says, okay, we're going to push you to the right as opposed to push you to the left.
That trick's so cool. It just looks awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's lots of just like nice little pieces of tech. Right here, little piece right there where they grab hold of on guard. I believe you press B and up at the right time, then you'll kind of fly up in the air. Joe getting caught on that corner right there, giving back that little half second right there to Lumo.
Yeah. That's always the worst part of water levels in DKC, because you try to cut the corners to make it faster, but then you can just kind of stick to them. It's such a bad feeling.
Yeah, thankfully in DKC 1, they give you on guard the fish quite a bit. There's only one water level we're going to play without him. And he's pretty good at, like, if you do lose your top speed, you can get back to it pretty quickly with its little charge attack. So, and Barrel Canyon Barrel whatever Canyon. Yeah, for the most part, we're just going to fly over this level. We're going to do a little bit of a sequence break right here through Extendos, which is a really cool piece of tech in this game, where effectively if they release, like right there, that chain of 4 Kremlings you go through, if you just hold Y, you won't go through all of them. The chain will break before you get to the 4th one. But if you release it and then repress it as the roll is about to run out, then you actually restart the roll and then you extend it through more enemies. And that allows us to get quickly up to that barrel and get to just fly over the entire level effectively. Here on our first boss. Bosses don't have too much to them. Right there, they were just trying to optimize hitting it as soon as it's like the apex of its jump, because that's when its iframes run out, when it's active to be hit.
Yeah, that was a really clean fight from Joe.
Mm-hmm.
You heard Spike talk about extendos here. There's going to be another one right there. Joe just got it.
Very
really
nice. Cool. Yeah, you can tell they get the extendo by if they're able to catch that bird cycle on the way down. That second bird. If you don't get that full extendo properly, then you'll end up just rolling and he's going to be up too high for you to roll through him.
Real nice Winky's walkway from both of them. This one's great.
Joe ended up just grabbing the barrel. Both players just grabbing the barrel here. Wastes about half a second as opposed to rolling through it, but because the Y button, it's a little bit of an unfortunate thing, because the Y button does everything in these games, including rolling, making you run, and pick stuff up. It can be pretty hard to like time your Y presses to avoid that. But anyways, we're here on the first really tough level of the game. Ooh, Joe barely dodging that B back there after having a few snags.
That was close. Oh, and Lumo with an unfortunate death.
Ooh, didn't even see that one back there. Fell into a pit, I guess.
Yeah, he missed a roll, I think. This is really unfortunate because Winky's not Winky's Walkway. This level, I'm blanking on the name. I'm a bad commentator. Bouncy.
Yeah, Bouncy
Bouncy has no accessible midpoint, and Joe's donkey right now. That's really unfortunate for him.
Yeah, it's the old adage. People have said it a million times, but if you're donkey, you're dead. And just being able to survive with donkey, because donkey actually has built-in input delay. He's absolutely awful to control. You want to be Diddy for like 95+% of this run.
Yeah, dude. Being donkey, oh man.
This is not good. Nice. Unlike in DKC 2 and 3, if you guys are familiar with that, where we get to warp through basically the entirety of the first 2 worlds, they actually spread out the in-level warps all over the place. So we got another one right here, but we actually have to have our first real big trick of the run in order to get up to it a little early. You see right there, Joe took damage on the left with Donkey, and that was actually to store a super jump. So now he takes damage with Diddy, and then Donkey coming back. By taking damage at the right time, it allowed him to get a super bounce off that enemy up there, allowing him to shoot way up into the barrel.
This is like that trick. This is one of the few times where you want Donkey for this fight in the next couple of levels, because there's going to be a Donkey-only warp barrel in the level after this Neki boss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Donkey doesn't actually lose any time. I think technically he saves time because his fanfare animation's a little bit faster than Diddy's. Yo, nice slap slide right there by Joe.
Yeah, slap slides are the most important piece of tech in DKC speedrunning culture. They are a frame-perfect trick that does absolutely nothing, but they're swag, so they're priceless.
So as Gil mentioned earlier, the reason why you just end up staying Donkey is because he has 2 exclusive warp barrels. That barrel that Joe just went in, it's only available for the first like 10 seconds or so of that level, and only Donkey can see it. If you get up there with Diddy, then it won't be there, and then if you swap to Donkey fast enough, it'll just appear. So it was a lot of the time, only times we ever used Donkey is because they literally shoehorned him into the game to make you use him.
Quite an unfortunate feature.
Yeah. So you can kind of tell here how there's a little bit, you can kind of tell on the world map, there's like 10 extra frames of delay before you're actually able to enter them now that we have 2 Kongs. But
you want to hype up super jump rolls?
Yeah, super jump rolls are cool. You see him once again storing that super jump right there by having Diddy get damaged and then go vertically up that wall in his ghost. Now let's see if Joe's able to. Okay, so it looks like Joe's going for just the super bounce and the super jump right now.
Yeah.
We'll see if Lumophile elects to try to go for the super jump roll. It would make up this lead for sure if he was able to get it.
So a super jump roll is when you have not only get the super jump, but you also hit a frame perfect input. Lumo misses it, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. It looked like both players, just elected to take the super jump.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
You need, for a super jump roll, you need to not only store the super jump properly, which means holding B when you once you get hit and Diddy comes back, you need to also press Y, frame perfect, when you are coming off a ledge, so that you're still in midair and you hit the enemy in midair and it creates a super jump roll.
Temple Tempest right here, the level Joe just got into, is actually one of my favorite levels in the run. It's super, super cool. There's a beginner route that you can take. I'll be interested to see if Lumo potentially takes it or not.
I don't think Lumo does it.
Where he's going to be, you think he's going to be taking on guard? No, okay, he's not going to be taking, not on guard, but espresso. But you can take the bird, and it wastes, I think, about like 2 seconds or so. Instead, you want to do these really sick extendos to roll all the way underneath all these ropes.
You feel so cool doing them.
Oh. Yeah, another super cool extendo right there. Joe wasn't able to quite get all of it, but got the vast majority of it. We'll see if Lumo's able to get it or not. if you fully extend it, you can get to that platform right above that like beaver wheel enemy. So you try to bait these enemies on screen all the way through the fourth. Yeah, jumping out of it early. And as you can see, your roll has a lot of iframes. All right, so yeah, you want to explain what's happening right here?
Yeah, so Joe is going to do yet another frame perfect trick because Donkey Kong Country loves its frame perfect tricks.
Yeah.
If you hit the corner of that corner that Joe's at right now, he just got it, on the perfect frame, you warp into the next level like 95% of the way through. And it saves 11 seconds, I want to say, over doing the regular route.
So even getting that second try, he still probably saved 9 seconds. And Lumo getting it first try, so he's able to get the full 11 there. So really nice stuff from both players. That's one of those, it is a frame perfect trick, but it's the least punishing of the frame perfect tricks. You get as many tries of that one as you want. Most of the frame perfect tricks in this game are you get one attempt.
One and only one, or else you lose a billion.
Yeah, we say a billion. In a game like this where we're like, oh, we saved half a second here, a quarter of a second there, we're going to have tricks late in the run that are saving like 40, 50 seconds, and they're frame perfect. So, and when we're not making this crap up, like, when we say frame perfect, this game is very anal about that. So.
Yeah, 60 frames, I want to say. Oh boy. 1/60th of a second to do some of the tricks that you need to do. It's rough.
Alright, so Joe here already getting to World 3. Gonna be keeping Diddy here. He's gonna jump up. Oh, actually...
Ooh, misses it.
Not sure. Must have had maybe a dropped Y input there. Not 100% sure what happened right there, but... He's gonna try to get this B back on like a proper cycle. Looks like he hit him right as he was coming up. For now, he can catch him on each of the times when he comes up. Lumo able to get that strat right there, though. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I was just going to say that Joe got him back on the cycle that he wanted, which is great.
Yeah, Lumo going for a stride there. Normally, it's obviously when you play this game casually, it's a lot easier with Donkey to like just jump up in the air, and Donkey holds it above his head and just kind of pushes it up into him. But with Diddy, with the first barrel hit, you want to kind of jump up in the air and at the apex of your jump, like release the barrel, and it's enough to hit the bee in the butt.
So Joe is on...
Snow Barrel Blast?
Oh, he doesn't go for his own roll.
Oh, is there a roll there?
Yeah, there's a roll named after Joe that's a 6-frame Joe roll in the snow. And he didn't go for it. I really hope Lumo goes for the 6-frame Joe roll in the snow to avenge Joe. It's right here. Oh yeah, Lumo got it. That's a 6-frame Joe roll in the snow.
How much time does that save? Alright, Joe going through here. Nice extendo through all those birds. And then just shooting up at a diagonal to skip over some other barrels. And now he's going to roll off and jump down into this, what I am convinced is a death barrel. Because they were like, screw this, I don't want to do this whole barrel blasting section.
That section takes so long.
Oh, it's really bad. Yeah, never try to do that. Just memorize where that barrel is.
So Joe has been trying to pioneer an up and 4 strat here. You see on how these guys are jumping? He doesn't go for it. He's been trying to...
Oh, before... Oh no, but he's in the bonus level, dude.
Sucks, dude.
And he spelled too well. He got the N on the third one. Well, that automatically... Lumo is getting back into this race right now.
Wow. 4 or 5, yeah.
Now let's see.
So what Lumo's going to try to do is go out of bounds and hit a roll. Yeah, like that. Oh, that's super unfortunate for Joe.
You almost imagine there's like an invisible ground up there. Ooh, but Lumo losing Diddy. He is Donkey right now.
Look at Joe's ropes. Holy moly.
Oh, Lumo jumping up with Donkey. This is, ooh, okay, he survived at least. He's going to want to switch off Donkey as soon as he can. He does have a DK barrel here right at the start.
Isn't too bad. So this level, Ice Age Alley, you want to take the bird Espresso all the way through. Controlling the bird's pretty gnarly, being honest, because you just don't have the greatest control over her, and there's just ice physics all around.
You overall want to be on the ground with her as much as possible. So whenever it's not just they get to mash A or mash B or whatever might be on the controller in order to float a lot. They want to try to time it to where they land back on their designated landing spots as soon as they can. keep her in her run animation.
That was very nice from Joe.
Yeah, it's good. Good Ice Age Alley. And now we get our intermission of the run. Been a pretty good race so far. Lumo catching up a lot of time on Joe, unfortunately, going into that bonus level. Lumo, his biggest mistake so far, taking the death in Bouncy Bonanza, I think we decided was the name of the level.
Yeah.
But yeah, some unfortunate usage of Donkey up to this point in the run by both runners. So
to talk about this water level real quick, this is actually one of the times that the levels that separates the meat from the potatoes. Because you can lose a lot of time very quickly in this level for Octopus Chase. What you would want to do is cut all the corners really tightly and mash insanely fast on the way up. But doing that for, like, I think this level's like 3 minutes long, gets really challenging.
Yeah.
So between like top players and a newbie like me, you can lose upwards of half a minute just in one level.
Yeah, so, just from little, like, because we brought up earlier how, okay, you have unguard for most water levels. And if you hit a corner, well, he can just, as soon as you get a clear path, he can get right back up to top speed. It takes a while for Diddy and Donkey to get back up to top speed. So, yeah, you definitely want to avoid bonking as much as you can.
The fastest way that you'll do this is you'll hear this, there's a piano refrain in this, and if there's no second piano refrain, that means that they did a perfect one, but getting anywhere within like 5 seconds of that is still means that you had an insane croc.
Right.
Because you can get easily 30 seconds to a minute away from that.
You can lose 30 minutes on this stage. It's insane. Yeah. It's one of those stages, I remember when I ran this, I never wanted to practice this stage, but if you want to get really, really good, you just have to. You have to sink an ungodly amount of hours into doing this really well. Because it's just not inherently obvious how to be frame perfect throughout the whole thing. So, Joe getting out.
That looks pretty good.
And now kind of moving, that was the intermission, like I said, now the run gets really hard. We have a lot of frame perfect tricks all over the place and just some hard platforming stages. Right off here with Torchlight Trouble.
The stage is so dark, dude, I can't see anything.
Yeah, you can barely tell. For the most part, you can tell they don't want to stop as much as they can. A lot of jumping in those crawl spaces to cut out the slow crawl animation. And nice little back boost right there. Ooh, I am seeing some Donkey on the right side.
Yeah, for the hitboxes on those flaming oil barrels is really weird. About like, the hitbox is only about in the middle, roughly. Oh, and Lumo takes that.
His second death of the run, unfortunately. And now Joe setting up for a super jump roll himself.
We'll see if he gets this one. This one's always perplexed me. He only gets the super jump. You don't have the super jump in this level.
I was gonna say, I've never seen a super jump on the level, so I didn't know if it was useful or not.
It's not a strat.
Unfortunately for Lumo, now we're seeing Squawks on the right side. It's his only stage, and they wanted to skip him at the beginning. Even though you can see better, it lags the crap out of this level. So, thankfully, from the checkpoint, there's not too much of this left. But they do force Squawks on you if you take a death. Alright, well, if Lumo decides to go, alright, looks like he's going to be electing to go for the super jump roll as well. Joe now getting out of the stage. See if Lumo can make... I think this saves about 7 seconds.
He's Donkey.
Yeah, he's going to be bailing out of that.
Unfortunate to see.
Yeah, so now it's just going to be kind of a classic platforming stage. On the left, you're seeing, and Lumo barely avoiding falling into the pit again right there. Maybe a little jittery from the death and then the subsequent mess up of the super jump roll. You're seeing on the left here, Joe. It was an old strat where they used to skip a phase of this boss. Very nicely done there by Lumo. Able to get to that platform. Where on the left, you would damage boost with Donkey. But instead, they want to keep Donkey here because, surprise, surprise, there's another frame-perfect super jump roll strat in this level.
Joe's currently setting up for it. There is a damage list set up now. This was only recently discovered to my knowledge. He only got the super jump, didn't get the super jump roll, so needs to bail out.
Yeah, no frame perfect tricks so far in this run. None of the rolls, anyways. I guess we had our map warp.
Don't forget about map warp, the most important frame.
The most important one. I mean, it saves good 11 seconds. I believe super jump roll in Oil Drum Alley saves like 25 seconds. I could be wrong about that.
It saves a lot of time.
So it's another opportunity we're seeing here for Lumo. That's kind of the great thing about this game as a race. There's always the frame perfect tricks to give you a chance of getting back into it.
This little section here that Joe's coming up on looks so cool.
Selfishly, I hate that this level has a super jump roll. I love Oil Drum Alley.
Lumo not getting the super jump as well. Fortunate to see, but hopefully you can bless him with a good ODA. Joe coming up on easily the hardest stage in the entire game, Tic Tac Track.
Oh god, he got it. Perfect.
The goal is to get sub 10, but no one has gotten sub 10 ever. So it's one of the most highly contested ILs ever. Oh, Joe taking the death, unfortunately. Not a recent discovery, but there was a setup was found to make this next stage elevator antics have yet another super jump roll that Joe has been going for recently. Unfortunately, he missed the opportunity to set it up, so I think we'll just be seeing the regular. Yeah, we'll just be seeing the regular route for elevators. I'm not sure if Lumo goes for the SJR. But of course, he needs to worry about Tic Tac Track first.
Yes. Oh, nice. That was probably a 10 on the die.
Perfect.
All right. Well, that is a big opportunity for Lumo to catch up. A lot of this game also is just staying in striking distance. If there's the biggest frame coming up here in about 4 levels from now. If he can hit that, then he makes up this entire lead right here. There's never been a game with so much upset potential as this one right here, due to how many frame perfect tricks there are.
Joe setting up a really cool looking trick there. Last elevator skip. I have no idea how it works, but it looks badass, so I'm down with it. Yeah,
it's a camera manipulation that they do to just keep those elevators off screen, and then when you turn around, then the cycles are where you want them to be to skip over everything. Ooh, Lumo unfortunately matching Joe with the elevator antics death. Did not need that whatsoever to stay in this race. Doesn't want to make this lead too big, otherwise Joe's just going to be out of reach, even with some frame perfect tricks. Ooh, and unfortunately, like I said, those Y inputs.
Oh, man.
Having to tell me. This is secret. World 5 is a nightmare. World 6 is the lottery, but World 5 is just so hard to execute correctly every run. Ooh.
Really good mincer clips from Joe on Poison Pond.
Yeah, you effectively get some iframes while in your charge, but it's not that many iframes. So you can't just throw them out and get them. So that was a really, really good Poison Pond.
Oh, man. Lumo getting the blunt end of elevator antics right now. Lost Diddy right at the very end. And, oh, man.
Yeah,
that's the very last enemy on the stage. There's actually a frame coming up right here on Joe's screen. If he hits this bird, he will get a super jump. He'll get a jump roll, but unfortunately he misses it. And Lumo just having a tough time.
This is, I think, honestly, Joe able to hit his jump roll. I guess in a later spot when it didn't matter as much.
Yeah.
That one only saves a couple of seconds. This rolling through the air, I always tell anybody can do this. Do this as a party trick. You just have to walk into the minecart with Donkey, get hit, and then jump out of it and start rolling and jumping constantly with Diddy. Unfortunately, once you hit that tire, once you kind of get to that point of the level, for whatever reason, there's just an invisible barrier that won't let you fly through the air anymore. So you actually have to do this level normally from here. At least semi-normal. It's a little piece of tech that we haven't really brought up, but there are things you can do called tire rolls.
Oh yeah, we totally missed tire rolls, didn't we?
If you roll basically on the right side of the boingy, the tires, the bouncy ones, then you can actually start a roll off of them. If you try to do it too early, then it will just eat your roll because it wants to bounce you instead, and you just fall off and die. All right, here we are at Blackout Basement, the final level of World 5. Super, super cool and impressive level to see done well. I believe it's every 61 or 2 frames. The lights will flicker on and off. So these players are going to have the whole level memorized. And you see Joe there doing a little bit of a safety by hitting that checkpoint. Maybe a little jittery after some of the mistakes he's made in this run. Taking a little bit of tournament safety.
There is an extendo in Blackout Basement that I know of called the Omega. It's at the very end. So I wonder if Joe's gonna go for it. I don't think he did. He had some trouble getting into the exit right there.
I was like, is that throwing some shade? Like, what's he doing right there? But it's 62 according to Joe. Okay, I couldn't remember if it was 61 or 62 frames, but yeah, basically about every second it will flicker on and off. So Lumo on Donkey on Unguard right now. Again, World 5, bit of a nightmare. Losing on guard, but thankfully at the end of the stage, so it doesn't cost too much time. At this point, he's gonna need,
Joe.
Yeah, very good slap slides. And yeah, almost feels like that's your practice of doing frame perfect tricks, because he's going into World 6, which commonly a lot of runners will call the lottery. There's a lot of big frame perfect tricks coming up. You saw right there swapping to Donkey. That's because he can one-shot those army at the end, and also able to kill the larger enemies, whatever they're called. So this is the biggest level in an RTA for any % all stages. We got tanked up trouble here, Tut, as people call it, and it's got 2 different frame perfect tricks. We're going for one or the other. You probably will see these players both go for the first one, Creme Tut, which I believe saves like 50 seconds. If you nail it, 50 something.
Saves a lot of time. That's all I know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Until Lumo, we'll see if Lumo's able to nail this. We have not had any frame perfect flying through the air tricks really that have meant anything so far. We're gonna be seeing Joe go for it right here. He's got to jump up, get this. Oh, he wasn't able to get the fuel tank, so he has to bail on it. If this thing runs out of fuel, then the stage will end before you're able to beat it. Now setting up for Bird Tut, the classic, not able to get
doesn't get it.
What effectively you have to do is you need to bounce on something and roll through it on the same frame. So they set up the camera there to manipulate the bird to be at its lowest point. Once you can kind of basically just walk off the cart and then press Y on the frame you're going to land on. It's 52 and 40. Okay, yeah, I knew it was in that ballpark. Yeah, 52 seconds. So this is where a lot of runners, their any % all stages RTA attempts just go to die. And if Joe's not watching the race, I can see him being a little worried. He's had a death. He hasn't hit any frames. Potentially Lumo could be keeping up with him. But right now, if you're Lumo to stay in this tournament race, you need to hit one of these. I wouldn't say you need Creme Tut, but you need Bird Tut.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just too many seconds left out there, and we're running out of levels for Lumo to catch up.
Well, there's a frame in every level in World 6. That's to only save so much time.
Oh, there's a frame in the next level?
Which one's... Is it Mincer's next? There's a frame in Mincer's, but no one goes for it.
Oh, okay. I was like, I did not know that. I knew there was like a baby super jump you could go for in Mincer's that I used to go for. But, yeah. Well, we'll see. We're here in Mincer's. This is a level, despite for most runners not having a frame perfect trick, it was still one where commonly people would mess up. It's a very chokeable level. Just moving Rambies.
Yeah, Rambi is such a pain to control. He feels super heavy, like a Rhino, which makes sense, but he also has a ton of input lag programmed into him that's unavoidable, which just makes controlling him an absolute nightmare.
That's right, folks. We're not making that up. It was a design choice by Rare to give him input delay. So, yeah, they just want him to feel heavier. Always love those little back boosted days since he can't kill those enemies. Looking like a pretty good stage here for Joe.
Yeah,
as you can see. Giving
well executed Mincers.
Yeah, that was really, really good. Now going into Misty Mine. This is where the next, I believe the last super jump roll, unless Loopy Lights has one as well.
I think Loopy does have one.
Okay. So yeah, once again, setting up here.
Only getting the super jump. Not the SJR he wanted.
He's been nailing the super jump part of it, but those do not do anything for you. Super jumps are really, really slow, so the only reason why they're really good in vulture culture early on. Oh, looking right here, Lumo didn't even notice.
Man, I was busy looking at Joe.
We got a flying monkey right here. What you're seeing, okay, we said he needed this. The reason for that wiggle, it's not swag or messing around or anything. It's actually, as you are doing this, you are very, very slowly falling in the air. So he needed to fall enough to fit underneath these bees. Because you don't just phase through the bees. The bees still hurt you. So, wow, that's...
very nice from Lumo.
Yeah, he needed that, and he still needs more, but that definitely is at least going to help him save face at this point.
Unfortunately, got hit with the mincers real quick.
Get back a little bit at a time. Always feels good to at least hit those tricks. Ooh. Yeah, sometimes a little bit hard. If you don't hit that beaver at the exact right spot, you end up not quite making it up to that platform. Alright, Joe here in Loopy Lights. Second from the last level of the run before the final boss rush. Ooh, got caught up there. Barely made that platform underneath. These enemies jump pretty high, these claptrap type enemies. Lumo able to Yoshi his Randy away. Thankfully the only level on the run where we have to use him. Alright, with that, Lumo out of mincers. Very nicely done by both of them. You feel a little bit bad for Lumo that if he didn't death cycle on elevator antics, he might actually be in this run right now, in this race. Yeah. Let's see if he can give himself another opportunity. Ooh, I thought for a second there maybe that was it. I couldn't quite tell.
Yeah. Didn't get it, unfortunately. One more final frame in this stage, Perils. You have to hit one of these armadillos in a very particular way.
Yeah, you kind of set him. You set him up on this awkward platform that allows you to get technically above it by a little bit. Oh, Joe will not be going for it though. In fact, he'll be taking a death.
Oh man,
okay, Donkey, you're dead. Because nobody, and this is not a knock on DKC 1 runners, nobody practices with Donkey. So in a lot of situations, you just think, okay, well, I can make this jump with Diddy, and Donkey just has a terrible fall arc. He doesn't roll nearly as far through enemies. Well, this will give him another shot at trying to get that frame perfect. He's going to be setting up, hitting this army.
No. Fortunately, no frames for Joe.
No frames for Joe this run. Going to try to... Impressive that he's still looking at potentially winning this race. Got to finish off this level right here. This is another one of those levels, though. I really, really like it without the frame. I think it's a cool platforming stage at the end of the run. A nice little shank to those enemies. Going to try to pick up that barrel and land there on that platform as opposed to throwing it. So nice stuff. And you're going to see him right here. Ride this up. Throw it and then turn to the right. I'm surprised I didn't give him the golden barrel. And should be skipping the last go back and forth. And that is going to do it for the platforming stages for Joe right here. So right now, Lumo's probably got to hit his frame perfect in platform perils and then pray for a death at some point, like on K-Rule or something.
This is one of the K-Rule hits. Have a bird spitting nuts at you right now. So Joe recently, the last couple of times I've talked to him, he's been saying that he likes having Donkey in front for K-Rool, so I wonder if he's going to swap or take a hit potentially, or if he's just going to do Diddy.
Yeah, from what I understand, Supreme told me the other night, I didn't know about this, that it's actually technically faster. Lumo taking, unfortunately, another death there on the right side. But it is faster actually to swap to Donkey to get his fanfare at the end of the World 6 boss, and then just do the whole fight here with Donkey. So you actually would get a solid 2 minutes of Donkey Kong in his own game at the end of a run. It would be hype. Yeah, looking like Joe just electing to stick with Diddy.
Oh, no, he switched. Yeah.
Wait, he switched. Yo, Lumo with another frame, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Hitting the frames just couldn't avoid the deaths, unfortunately, on a number of these levels. Thankfully, there's no awkward setups or anything you have to do off this frame perfect. Once you get it, it's just linear. You just hold right, and you get to the end of the stage. So, good stuff there for Lumo. I'm sure those feel good, despite the deaths.
He's not slap sliding underneath the cannonballs.
Come on, man.
You need to go for everything. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I'm looking like... To note, there's basically, like, no RNG in this run. Some of the only RNG are these 2 Neki bosses, exactly where they'll spawn. So it's just going to affect... basically how long it takes them to fall to the ground. It's very, very minor pieces of RNG.
Joe beating the game? Question mark. Here you see all the credits. Critter, Crusha, Clump, K-Roll. It's the end. Question mark.
That's quite the dev team right there.
Really wonder on how they programmed this game. Those guys.
I never heard of them in any other game. Oh wait,
oh wait, it's not over.
Joe looking like he's gonna finish off with a mid to high 36 right now. And that shows how hostile this game is. He has a PB of a 33 and didn't make a ton of mistakes outside of missing all the frame perfect tricks, but with that, Joe getting a 36, almost got the 36-36, kind of looking at it.
Yeah, 36-35 from Joe. Which is quite a nice run.
Yeah, pretty solid for having no frames. So, GG to Joe, taking the win here, I believe, in Group D of the tournament.
Post your Void nice runs.
GG's.
Oh, nice. This is always one of my favorite things to do. If you line up Diddy's toes with certain lines in the wood, you can just graze right through the cannonballs and not have to do anything. It looks super cool and it makes it so easy.
Yeah, I don't think I ever learned that. I'm like, I don't trust my ability to get like a pixel perfect.
Hey guys.
Yo, what up, Joe? Welcome.
Alright.
Hey, GG on the win, man. How'd you feel about the race?
Race was fun. I felt like comfortable about the game, but it had been a very long time since I've actually played this game. So I'm really rusty on the frames, and that led to me hitting none of them, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah.
We were gonna say it felt like you played pretty solid, honestly. Do you find this game you've run it enough to where outside of the frame perfect tricks, it all comes back pretty quickly?
Yeah, like outside of the frames, it takes like maybe 2 days before I'm back to where I was before.
Right.
But like the frames, they take a bit more like.
Nice. Lumo hitting it, ending with a 38-10. Good for him.
Yes, Lumo.
Yeah. GG to Lumo. Yeah, it felt like watching you, like, you had a really, really good, I know, just a couple of stuck out to me, Poison Pond, your Temple Tempest was really good, your Blackout Basement, there was a lot of really good, your Mincers, a lot of really good stages in there. Is it one of those, does it frustrate you that you miss the frames, or is it just, you've run this game enough, you understand, frames are frames?
No, I actually, when I took the death in, Antics, I got really mad. I got extremely mad after that death in Antics. Because I had been practicing the setup for that frame, like, religiously, and then for it to just fail, like, that hurt.
Yeah. Somebody, I was talking about earlier in 4-1 about the 6-frame Joe roll in the snow, and the guy is asking why you didn't go for it.
First off, I did not name that strat after me. People named that strat after me. I do not condone anyone going for that strat. It's a terrible strat. Kills more runs than like almost anything else.
But Lumo got it.
You know what, man? I don't
care. I don't care. I just like the name. I had never even heard of this before. Joe in the Snow. 6 frames, Joe in the Snow, or whatever.
6 frame Joe in the Snow, dude.
Pretty good.
Yo, what up? Is that Lumo?
It is Lumo.
What's up, Lumo?
Yo, GG on... You guys traded it off. You had a few more deaths than Joe, but you nailed the frames.
I got kind of lucky on World 6 frames, yeah, but I died a lot. It was unfortunate.
Yeah, is there... I actually always said back when I ran this game, Elevator Antics was actually the #1 stage for death cycles for me. Just that level was, for whatever reason, a nightmare. Is that kind of a common one for you, that it can sort of turn into that, or did that feel kind of out of nowhere?
The two main levels, I'd say, that become infinites are Oil Drum Alley and Platform Perils.
I agree with that 100%, but the thing with Elevator is if you lose Diddy, it can easily become an infinite, because that level with Donkey is just stupid. You have to wait for so many cycles and you get impatient. Nobody practices it with Donkey because you never want to be Donkey. So if you lose your Diddy, especially after grabbing halfway, it can easily become an infinite, like it was for me. So there's that section with 2 clumps where I just rolled off the edge.
Right.
I didn't know that you apparently can't roll through both of them. But your roll dies beforehand and you run into the second clump. So
it's very sad how... I'd like to give a shout outs to you for reiterating what I said, because I was like, yeah, no one practices this game with Donkey, because it's like, well, if I'm Donkey, the run is dead.
That is a fact. That's a huge saying in our community. Like, if you're Donkey, you're dead. Like, that's just how it is.
Absolutely.
So overall, Luma, I know, again, like you said, you nailed a couple of frames there. You had a lot of levels you nailed. There's just a little bit of unfortunate, some deaths here and there. Had you been working on the run recently? Is this kind of your de-rusting now for the tournament? Where are you at with this game?
I just came back to this, I don't know, 8 or 9 days ago or so, a little bit over a week. For the most part, I'd been getting ready for GDQ submissions, so this is still kind of fresh. I have been running against my PB splits, and I still haven't PB'd yet. I actually haven't been in the green coming out of World 5 yet so far, so still pretty rusty comparatively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your PB right now, I believe it's about a year old. It still has no frames in it?
Yeah, 9 months. It was last December, and I'm right behind you on the leaderboard.
I saw that. I was like, oh, all right. Waiting for the spike bob.
Yeah, right.
I didn't have any frames in mine either. I didn't know any frames really back then. I was like, all right, I don't want to learn these. I hate frame perfect tricks, dude. They suck.
Yeah, but, I mean, as you can see, they can either kill a run or just really turn it around for the better. So
right, yeah. That's the thing about this tournament, man, is you're going to see a lot of upsets in this tournament. Just, all right, someone's staying in striking distance, and they're going to hit a couple of frames, and next thing you know, someone's getting upset.
Yeah, one of the upsets that I wasn't expecting was Blueberry over Peachy.
That is the buzz of the community right now.
Upset, yeah. People are still talking endlessly about it just because how massive of an upset that is.
Wow.
At one point, world record holder, multiple different times, been in the community for, I don't know, 7 years or something. He's a mega old boy. To be upset by
and then Blue, who wasn't even in the community for the last tournament.
I was going to say, I don't even know.
Almost a year ago. Almost a year ago. Only 11 months, I want to say.
Yeah, and Blue joined the community last October, so.
Wow. Well, GG to him. Did he just hit, all the frames? And did Peachy hit
Peachy died a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't so much that Blue won the race. This is something we've been saying, no strike against Blue or whatever. It's not so much that Blue won the race, more that Peachy lost the race for himself. If you get my meaning.
What were the times in that race? I was just having this conversation on speed gaming. What was the time?
They both got 36s, so I mean they're pretty reasonable times.
Yeah, PG just for him a 36 is not very good. So but that can happen, man. Everyone talks about the frames in this game. Death cycles they can happen. Even for players at high skill levels, it can just happen in these games. Especially when you turn into Donkey and you have built-in input delay, basically.
Yeah, he does. It's awful.
So, well, GG boys. Do you guys have your next matches scheduled or anything, or are you still kind of figuring that out?
No, you see, what has happened is legendary farmer KBZ has joined our group.
Oh no!
Oh no, dude! Yo, he knocked me out of the tournament last year. Y'all gonna avenge me?
Yeah. The problem is beating KBZ in a race is not possible. You just don't. You cannot physically beat KBZ in a race.
Oh, I know.
Like the rules of the universe do not allow it.
Watch Blueberry farm KBZ at its own game.
I would retire. I would just leave the community completely. If Blue beats KBZ, like no, that's it. That's just crossing the line, dude. That's too much.
Well, we want to remind you guys, I know it's a late night stream right now, but if you want to, make sure to give a follow. There's Speed Gaming 1 through 6 at least. There's no 1 in Speed.
I think there's an 8.
Are we up to 8 now? I wasn't
so, yeah.
sure. I was going off of just like what their what their title card says. But yeah, there's a lot of Speed Gaming. The Ocho.
The Ocho. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
God, what a great movie, dude. Who wants to watch Dodgeball? What a great movie.
Dude, I'm down.
Yeah, guys,
Still only 6.
happy to have this match for you guys. Make sure to give all the Speed Gaming channels a follow, and we're going to be having a lot more Donkey Kong Country 90% all stages tournament for you guys later on. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and we will see you all later. GG, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys.
I
know. Have a good day.
Rolling out.
Rolling out.
Rolling deep.
On out.